Hello and welcome to Chiefling Squadbusters. Today I'm going to make a tier list of every single character in Squadbusters as a starting unit. The start of a match is really important, outlining how the rest of the match is going to go, so I figured that I would make a tier list of every single unit to tell everyone what the best starters are. Starting off the tier list, I'm going to start with Archer, and I'm going to put her in the very bottom of the A tier. You need a bunch of archers to make her useful. She takes down the blue box quickly, but the only problem is that starting with her is usually kind of a commitment that you need to fuse at least 2 archers to make her any good. Next up we have Archer Queen, who I'm going to put in the S tier, because Archer Queen is really like a good start. A lot of units are ranged that have high DPS, and she just boosts that DPS. And she has the Expo spell, which can be useful to get loot early on. Just every part of the Archer Queen is really useful. Then I've got the Bandit, who I'm going to put in the F tier, because she just gives you gems. She doesn't do that much damage, she doesn't have that much health. She'd be a better pick later on in the game, but even then I still wouldn't really recommend it. Then I have Barbarian, who I'm also going to put in the A tier, because especially at Ultimate, he might be an S tier start at Ultimate, but I'm just considering Ultras in this video. So he has high damage, high health. The only problem with him is that his damage ramps up as he's around for longer. So he does take 4 hits to take out the blue box, but his damage is really solid otherwise. And then I'm going to rank the Barbarian King, who I'm going to put at the very top of the A tier. I would have put him S tier before the Super Rage was nerfed, but now that the Super Rage is nerfed, he's not as good. He's still an S tier troop, but he doesn't do enough damage to be an S tier start. Battle Healer, I'm going to put in the second bottom of the A tier, because similar to the Barbarian King, she doesn't have that much damage. She's got a good health buff, but she's also an epic, which means that it'll take a long time to fuse her, and you probably won't fuse her till the final stretch, which can be a big problem. B, I'm trying to decide between A tier and S tier for B. I'm going to go for the S tier, because she's got high damage, her Bs are super useful for taking down tiny monsters around you, and she's just like a really good unit to have the whole time. Bo, I'm going to put in the D tier. Now, I do rank him as an F tier unit. However, him as a start is better than him at any other point, because he'll take down the monsters a lot faster. So, you can get a lot more coins early on. Still wouldn't recommend picking him at all, though. Chicken, I'm going to put in the B tier, because especially at Ultra, he spawns those hatchlings in, and if you're turboing over to the blue box, which you should be doing, he will spawn all 3 of his hatchlings and then take down the box really fast, being a really good start. Chrono Ruffs, easy S tier. Start with the fusion, one-shots the blue box, super obvious. Dr. T is another F tier unit, because he just spawns the crab that will go after players, so he won't help you get any coins early on. He doesn't do much damage. He has pretty decent survivability, but it doesn't counter having no damage. Colt, I'm going to put in the A tier, probably just below Barbarian, because his damage is really high, and he can take down monsters really quick, and he's decent against fighting squads as well, so definitely A tier. Dynamite is also going to go in the A tier, above Battle Healer, because his main problem is that he's rare, so you won't be able to fuse him up as easily, but he does high damage, really good splash damage, so it'll allow you to take out like the groups of monsters much easier. So like he's especially good in Lava World, where there's a bunch of groups of little monsters and stuff. El Primo is going to be a C tier start, because he has low damage, and he does have high health, and his flying elbow drop is really useful, but he just doesn't have enough damage to keep up with anything else. Alita 1 is going to be an S tier start because of her insane damage when turboing. But again, she is epic, so she's not going to be able to be fused till the final stretch, most likely. Frank, I'm also going to put in the B tier with Chicken, because he has medium damage, but his main thing is that it charges up when he takes damage, and he's a rare, so again, you won't be able to fuse him. Goblin is also going to be a B tier start, probably above Chicken, because he just gives you a bunch of coins, which allows you to build your squad really fast. I'm going to put Greg in the B tier, because similar to Goblin, I'm going to put him below Chicken. He gives you a bunch of coins to start out with. Well, he doesn't give them to you to start out, but you can go get trees to get the coins. Heavy is going to be a D tier start, because not only does he not do very much damage, it takes him a while to ramp up the damage. The only good thing about him is that he can heal when taking damage. Or not taking damage, but dealing that heavy damage. But other than that, he's just not very useful. Hog Rider, S tier. Probably pick him above B and Alita 1. Just infinite turbo. Super, super useful. Ice Wizard, I'm going to put in... Where's Jesse? I'm going to put Ice Wizard in the C tier. Because he has lowish damage, low health, and his only really benefit is his Ice Fan, which is only really good against squads. Jessie is going to be an S tier start, because her turret will take down all the PvE enemies, just like around your starting area and anywhere where you place it. She does high damage, her shots bounce. Super, super, super versatile at the start and super useful. Leon, I'm going to put in the C tier. He has really high damage, but low health. And at the start, his invisibility spell won't be very useful. And, I don't know, I just don't find Leon very good either. So I'm going to put him above Ice Wizard just because of his insane damage. But other than that, not very useful. I'm going to put Mavis actually in the A tier above Archer. Because she does a lot of, she gets you a lot of coins, and, and she heals your squad. Super, super useful. Max, I'm going to put in the top of the A tier, probably just below Barbarian King. Because of her speed boost, it allows you to get to the middle much faster. Her speed boost will likely be active for the entire match. Just super, super useful. Just extra speed the whole time. Medic is an F tier start because he has low damage, his healing is barely noticeable, and he has low health. Like, he's just a very, very useless unit. Miner is going to be a B tier start because he has lowish damage, but his stun ability is super, super, super useful. Mortis is going to be an S tier start because you can get all those monsters in your squad and they will really tank for you and just increase your squad's size, DPS, and intimidation factor by so much. Nita is going to be a B tier start because her bear is super, super useful for tanking, and she's basically 2 units in one. The only problem is that she's a rare, so she's not going to get fused. Optimus Prime is probably an A tier start. Pick Max over him. He doesn't do very much damage until he takes damage, but he does have that really nice healing, which is something you want at the start. Pam is going to be C tier because she doesn't do that much damage, but her heal station is super, super useful. Penny, I'm going to put in the bottom of the B tier. She does a ton of damage, like 2-shotting the blue box, and her map is useful, but you don't really want to pick up her map till the final stretch, so her health doesn't really compensate for her high damage, because she doesn't really have any other abilities. Poco is actually, though Poco is a really good unit, I'm only going to put him in the C tier, probably just above Ice Wizard, because The good thing about him is that he's common, so you can fuse him easily, but he hardly does any damage at all. He's one of the lowest damage characters in the game, so he can be really hard to start off with well. Royale King, actually, surprisingly, I'm actually going to put in the top of the B tier, because his Royal Recruits will go around and bust the monsters for you, and just useful, because nobody has big squads at that point. Though, he is epic, again, so it'll be hard to get a fusion for him. Shelly is an S tier start. I start almost every single one of my games with the Shelly, and just super useful. She can heal from her Super Shell, she does a lot of damage, she has a lot of health, her Super Shell is a knockback stun. It's just, she's such a versatile character, so useful. Tank is another S tier start. You get in the tank and you're invincible for the first at least a minute of a match. Nobody's going to fight you just because of that crazy damage. Trader is probably... I'd put him in the D tier only because he heals. Other than that, his damage is low, his health is low. He just gives gems, which are not very useful at the start of the match. So, yeah. Witch is going to be a C tier start, because she does high damage, her skeletons are kind of useful, but she's an epic. So, that's really annoying. And then my last one, Wizard, is... I'm going to put him in the D tier, unless he gives you a really good spell. Then he would probably be C tier. But he doesn't do very much damage. It is splash damage, which is useful, but it's not that much. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps it a lot. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the month, so let's see if we can get there. See you in the next one.